I sensed something was wrong the instant I stepped into that hotel ballroom. It wasn't the crowd, the music, or the fake cheer of corporate mingling. It was her. Claire, my wife of 8 years, the woman I trusted with every fragile part of me, stood only a few steps away, her lips pressed firmly against another man's. It wasn't a fleeting kiss that could be mistaken in a dim room. It was close, deliberate. Her hand rested on his chest, as if it belonged there. And in that second, something inside me fractured silently, like glass under slow strain. I didn't storm over. I didn't shout. I didn't make a scene like in the movies. Instead, I walked calmly, each step measured, each breath heavier than the last, until I stood close enough that my voice didn't need to compete with the noise around us. "You just destroyed our marriage," I said flatly. My words cut through the space like a blade. Claire froze, lips parting, color draining from her face, as if my truth had pulled the warmth out of her. The man, tall, polished, someone I faintly recalled from photos she'd shown me, stepped back in alarm. He didn't defend himself. He simply vanished into the crowd like a guilty shadow. But Claire turned to me, eyes wide, whispering words I'll never forget. "You're wrong." Those 2 words shook me more than the kiss itself. The drive home that night was silent except for the hum of the engine. My hands clenched the steering wheel, as though letting go would send me spiraling. Claire sat beside me, gazing out the window like a stranger. Finally, I broke the silence. "Who is he?" She didn't reply at first. Her fingers twisted the strap of her purse nervously. "It's not what you think, Daniel." I almost laughed at the cliché. "Not what I think. I saw your lips on his. I saw how you looked at him, the way you used to look at me." "Then explain," I said, voice steady while my chest burned. Because from where I stood, my wife was kissing another man at her company gala. "Tell me how that's not betrayal." She let out a shaky breath that sounded rehearsed. "It was a mistake." He leaned in. "I didn't, Claire," I interrupted. "I saw your hand on his chest." Her silence screamed louder than any admission. The days that followed blurred with half-truths and avoidance. Claire insisted it was just a slip, a moment of weakness, something meaningless. Yet she refused to cut him off. His name was Ryan, her team leader, the man she'd been traveling with for months on business trips. Looking back, the hints had been there. The late-night emails, the extra effort to look perfect before work dinners, the sudden bursts of laughter at texts she wouldn't share. I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted that kiss to be nothing but a drunken lapse. But my gut gnawed at me, whispering the truth I didn't want to face. This wasn't new. That kiss wasn't the start. It was the reveal. One evening, I sat in our living room with her phone charging on the coffee table while she showered. My hand hovered over it, conscience battling desperation. "Don't snoop." "But she already broke your trust. If there's nothing, you'll find nothing." I unlocked it. The messages were there. Hundreds, hidden under a harmless work chat. The tone was unmistakable. "Miss you already. Last night was amazing. Can't wait for our next trip." Photos, selfies, inside jokes I was never part of. I felt sick. When she walked out in her robe, I was sitting there like a ghost, her phone in my hand. "Daniel," she whispered, pale. "You went through my phone." "I went through the life I thought I knew," I said quietly. "And I found the truth." That night, we didn't talk. We didn't share a bed. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, replaying 8 years of marriage. Our vows, our home, our plans. Were they lies? Or did she simply change? The next morning, I packed a bag and left. Not in anger, but because I needed distance before the pain became something darker. She texted me all day. Apologies, excuses, promises. "I love you, Daniel." It meant nothing. "You're my husband." He's no one. But betrayal doesn't depend on the other man's importance. It's the act itself that poisons everything. A week later, she showed up at my rented apartment. No makeup, no polished exterior, just Claire, eyes swollen from crying. "Please, can we talk?" she asked. I let her in. We sat across from each other at the table, a gulf wider than the wood between us. "Why him?" I asked. Her eyes brimmed. I don't know. We traveled so much. He listened. He made me feel seen. My jaw tightened. So, I didn't. That's not what I mean, she rushed. You're a good husband, Daniel. I got lost. I studied her, searching for the woman I once fell in love with. Lost is forgetting an anniversary. Lost isn't building an affair behind your husband's back. It wasn't supposed to happen like this, she whispered. And then I realized she wasn't crying because she lost me. She was crying because she was caught. The divorce didn't happen overnight. I didn't call a lawyer the next day. A part of me, maybe the naive part, hoped she'd truly fight for us. But her version of fighting was shallow. Flowers, texts, I miss you. But never the hard work of honesty, of cutting him off, of fully owning her choices. I spoke to Ryan once, calling from a number he didn't recognize. You destroyed my marriage, I said. He sighed, almost annoyed. Look, man, it wasn't serious. She's the one who... I hung up before he finished. Not serious. As if that excused it. As if turning my wife into a fling softened the blow. Months went by. Papers signed. Friends divided. Her family begged me to forgive, to remember the good years. But forgiveness isn't a switch you flip because others feel uncomfortable. 6 months later, I ran into her at a coffee shop. She looked thinner, worn down. Not broken, but smaller somehow. Daniel, she said softly. I wanted you to know, I ended it with him. It's over. I nodded. Good for you. She looked at me, a flicker of hope in her smile. Do you think we could ever? No, I said gently. Because the night I caught you, I didn't just lose a wife. I lost the version of you who would never put me there. Her eyes filled, but she didn't argue. She only nodded, whispered, I'm sorry, and walked away. It's been a year now. The pain isn't sharp anymore. It's quieter, like a scar you forget until the weather shifts. I've started dating again, slowly. I don't check phones. I don't demand explanations for late nights. But I carry the memory like a warning sign. Trust, but never blindly. Sometimes I replay that night in the ballroom. The kiss, the crowd, the music swelling cruelly in the background. I think about my words. You just ended our marriage. And her reply, you're wrong. She wasn't wrong because we stayed together. She was wrong because she thought betrayal could be erased with denial. It can't. Once someone shows you what they're capable of in secret, you can never see them the same way again.